Welcome back to theCUBE. We are in Chicago and we are streaming live at Nutanix NEXT. I am Alison Kosik. I'm hosting the show alongside the one and only John Furrier. He's the co-founder and co-CEO of SiliconANGLE theCUBE. And we are seeing a lot of action in Chicago, aren't we?
This is a whole show that's just talking about AI, cloud and AI operations, and the virtual infrastructure is changing and evolving, and so is the values. It's a great segment here. And
partnerships are a big part of that, aren't they?
Absolutely.
Let's go ahead and bring in our guests right now. We've got Ketan Shah, the VP of Products at Nutanix, welcome. And Sandeep Singh, Senior Vice President of and General Manager of Enterprise Storage with NetApp.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So talk us through how your partnership is going. Ketan, you first.
Yeah, let me start. So we're really excited about the partnership. We announced it yesterday, and we've had a groundswell of sort of influx of customer and partner asks. And it's really grounded on this need for choice right now in the virtualization market. Right, so NetApp and Nutanix are combining forces to help customers modernize the infrastructure, not just for today, for virtualization, simplicity, agility of Nutanix with the agility and resilience of NetApp, but also take them on a journey to modernize as the apps evolve with containers and AI, right? So that's really what this is about.
Yeah, and if I can just add to it, as Ketan mentioned, customers are looking for a choice and flexibility. Our partnership enables that. Customers who are looking to move to Nutanix, it now gives them an option to have an underlying data foundation at the same time. To be able to have just flexible, secure, and intelligent data foundation to support their modernization effort.
You know, the AI infrastructure is hot right now, so you're seeing all the CapEx build out. You know, I wrote a post, you got to feed the AI beast with data. Tokens is data, so the role of storage is key. What makes this compelling right now with the storage? On main stage announcement, storage is a set piece in the main keynotes. And this is a strategic element of the entire AI stack right now. This is where all the actions, agents are coming on. You got to have the data, that's where the action is. What's the most compelling thing about the partnership?
Why don't you start with the storage angle and I'll cover the rest of the angles.
Look, from a storage angle, you know, when you think about what's happening in the marketplace with AI, with cyber resilience, ultimately data is at the core of each one of those priorities, including for even just infrastructure modernization. And when you think about storage, it very quickly elevates from not only just storing data, but being able to analyze it, protect it, and secure it, and then enable AI to have access to it. So when you think about the cybersecurity angle for a minute, it's basically storage becomes the last line of defense for customers. Of course, they should have all multi-layers of protection, and it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And storage becomes that last line of defense where you want to get real-time ransomware detection in your primary storage. So that's one example. And when you think about the AI perspective, it's critical for AI to be able to have the context of your enterprise data. But even for that, when you think about just the reasoning models, to have the large context memory awareness, this is where storage is becoming critically important to provide that high performance access to KV caches. Another is just essentially being able to enable enterprises to harness their raw data and turn it into AI ready data.
Talk about the role of intelligence with cyber resilience, because that category has changed significantly in the past 24 months, because you have, one, AI infused in there, two, you have sovereignty. You have now new dynamics. What does that look like from your standpoint? Because you got to manage all the, not only make the data available and recover to make sure the memory works, both on the memory and then the model memory, but also you want to have that core data roll back, be ready, respond, recover. There's a lot of recovery concepts out there right now. Share your thoughts on that.
Yeah, look, it is absolutely about rapid recovery. There are regulations, as we're all aware of, DORA, there's Bank of England regulation that's driving cybersecurity infrastructure build-outs. From a customer's perspective, it is about a full ecosystem that is integrated to enable that rapid recovery. At the data and at the storage infrastructure level, it comes down to, A, you need the real-time detection, because then you can minimize the impact of the amount of data that is impacted versus post-process. where it can be hours to days later. And then secondly, you need immutability and time-locked copies of data, point-in-time copies of data that are available. Of course, all of this has to integrate into your scenes so that your security teams are getting the appropriate signals. And then you have to be able to orchestrate the recovery for customers prioritized by their workloads, and that's what really matters.
And if I can just add a couple of perspectives here, right? So security is obviously a defense in depth strategy is what most customers employ. And if you look at the work we're doing, from a Nutanix perspective, we just demonstrated a cyber clean room. You can basically bring up a clean room in a matter of minutes in the cloud. And the power there is, how do I basically bring up a fully managed infrastructure with virtualization, with containers, up and running in any location, right? So you talked about sovereignty, right? So customers want to run on premises, full control. Customers want to run in certain locations in the public cloud, they have that option. Customers want to run in sort of sovereign cloud locations with service providers, they have that option. And the power of Nutanix is that on-demand infrastructure. So let's say something happens, with a little prep, you can go a long way. You can basically instantly bring up your infrastructure, and then the work we're doing will integrate with the data layer as well, with Nutanix's compute layer.
Talk about the virtualization and the VM specifically, because we love virtualizations. It powered the cloud, right? Yeah. But the AI stack looks differently. Certainly containers, Kubernetes are there. The role of VMs are changing. And the cloud is great. Virtualization, get the servers up, get the storage, get the networking, check. Now, there are new dynamics. What's the role of virtualization? Certainly, we're seeing the migration off full virtualization as a platform to specific use cases. Can you share your thoughts on how you guys are enabling this? Because isolation looks good with virtualization, well proven.
Virtualization's going to have a long life, we're not making predictions, but there's a lot happening here. But first you need to be on a modern virtualization platform, right? And that's part of the work we're driving is we offer a modern cloud platform with virtualization containers built in, and then you have the data strategy. Now, where virtualization plays a role we see going forward is, the world is hybrid for a long time, and hybrid in the sense is VMs, containers. How do you have an infrastructure that can adapt and embrace both of those topologies? And then how do you sort of seamlessly mesh the experience? We talked about disaster recovery, we talked about security, networking, data services, right? Those are all sort of services that we offer to integrate. And when it comes to AI, obviously the big thing is agentic AI, and there's an explosion of agents. Agents are identities, there is needs for access control, security, there's need for efficiency, optimization, performance, acceleration. These are all infrastructure constructs, and what construct better than virtualization that can embrace that, right? So the role of virtualization is going to be very critical in the world of accelerated computing with GPUs, DPUs, security, governance, confidential computing is an emerging concept as well. So we're pretty excited about sort of the work in that area.
And well said, Ketan. What I would complement with that is, as customers are looking at basically modernizing their virtualization layer as well as a future to containerization and cloud, having a modern underlying data infrastructure that brings in the intelligence and unifies their data operations across on-prem and cloud and gives them the intelligence for leveraging their data also becomes part and parcel and critically important part of that stack.
You guys have been doing unification for years, NetApp, and this is a hot theme right now. And if you look at the cloud native world, the work's been done. Hybrid has won. Kubernetes is there. How do you guys see that AI stack? Because now you have a modernization. What are customers doing when you said modern platform? Because it's been clear, have AI in all part of our business, but the game is still the same. You got to have a good compute, tokens love compute, you got to have storage.
Yep.
How is the cloud native world, the Linux Foundation just announced the agentic AI Foundation, which should grow much faster than CNCF did, so you got those two worlds coming together. You guys sit at the heart of the convergence. What's different? What's changed? What is a modern version? What's the new strategy customers are taking? Can you share any insights on that piece?
I think it builds or starts at with a foundation where you need an intelligent data infrastructure there, right? Because you need to be able to deliver the levels of performance for AI. You need to have the security built in for securely accessing the right data sets. You need to enable the discovery of the data sets. That's one of the core challenges that customers struggle with. How do they even discover and search for their data? And you need to be able to unify across on-prem and cloud. And then ultimately you need to be able to vectorize that data and have the proper vector embeddings and enable and forward-looking a knowledge graph for agentic AI. So it's an exciting future from bridging from the storage layer into the data layer to truly enable agentic AI future.
And one of the things I'd like to add is the human element, right? So we had a customer on stage yesterday and they transformed themselves from just an IT administrator managing virtualization to a platform engineer managing Kubernetes, right? And same set of resources, small team, but that's the power of the automation and the agility as a platform that we bring to the table. And that's when we say modern, right? Modern is agile, simple, resilient. And as we look at AI, we don't think it'll be just another silo of infrastructure, right? Like we talk about shadow AI as an emerging thing. We think that should be integrated into the core infrastructure for efficiency, scale, economics. And that IT person, the platform engineer, has the chance to kind of drive the AI transformation in the organization as well.
Is there a fear of rebuilding again? I mean, this one of these things we hear is like, we don't want to do a do-over. We want to modernize. We have an investment in cloud native. Is there sentiment in the customer base around the execution? You guys see any patterns there? Because this comes down to, hey, I want to get modernized as super fast. I want to get value.
So I think one of the things we are really excited about, and we're working very closely with the engineering teams, is Nutanix and NetApp coming together. It's all about meeting customers where they are. Right, so they want to modernize, but right now what's the biggest constraint? It's hardware supply chain, for example. So we're building the solution in a way where, guess what? We can reuse your existing servers, reuse your storage, and get the experience of Nutanix and NetApp better together. We're also doing a lot of work best in class, right? Bringing the simple operating model of Nutanix, which has always been application-centric, combined with NetApp. And then even the path to modernization, right? Customers ask, like, how do I get there, right? So we're investing in technologies to make that dead simple, turnkey, and fast as well.
For companies watching this, what is the big takeaway, since it seems that every company is sort of in their rethink moment on what you're talking about?
Yeah, I would say, look, what Ketan just was saying and building on top of that is, first, as customers are looking to modernize their entire virtualization stack, we're making virtualization, optimization, and modernization easy. So providing customers the flexibility and choice, and at the same time, helping them become more secure and resilient to protect against ransomware and cybersecurity threats, as well as providing the simplified operations that are critically important for customers. And then, forward-looking, it gives them the optionality, given the strengths of the Nutanix Cloud Platform and the intelligent data infrastructure from NetApp, is to be able to combine and leverage the best of both worlds together.
What's interesting is that Alice and I were talking before you guys came on around the workforce, and I just loved the fodder at GTC when Jensen Huang said, everyone should have a token compensation budget and use your tokens, and if you're performing, see what goes. Or tokens are part of the monetization. It brings up the business model piece, because simplifying operations traditionally has been an IT thing, DevOps. Now you start bringing in the business model side of it. You're starting to see C-suite being involved. You're starting to see CFOs, wait, token budgets, is that going to be in on the budget? And then the HR gets involved, wait a minute, the agents are workers? So I know it's a little bit of a C-suite discussion, but it also has impact to what operations means, because the risk is execution we're seeing. So what's your thoughts on this? Because NetApp, you're coming up from the infrastructure, sitting next to all the processors, but also going with Nutanix on this neutral layer that's going to feed a lot of operations for agents. So you're on both sides of the fence. You got the platform.
That's right.
What is that C-suite connection? Because that's going to probably get justified either in budgets, reorganizations, workforce redeployments, jobs are changing. You just mentioned automation. I mean, that's clear. I mean, IT admin today, infrastructure orchestrator tomorrow, or what are some of your thoughts on this? Because this is really connecting IT ops with business operations.
Yeah, look, what I would mention is, first of all, execution is key. It's critically important, and as customers are venturing on this journey of how do I truly harness the power of AI, they very quickly come to, I need to be able to combine that with my data. So data is kind of the linchpin, and having an intelligent data or a data platform is critically important there. That's what we're excited about is building a data platform that gives customers that choice and flexibility, and it brings along the security and the intelligence layer for enabling that. And its absolute ecosystem is critically important as part of that execution layer. We're obviously going to continue to partner with leaders. Nutanix is a perfect example of partnering on that ecosystem execution.
You're enabling revenue with these agents.
That's right.
What's your angle on this one?
No, and just to build on complement what Sandeep said, right? So there's sort of three big journeys here for Nutanix. Infrastructure, acceleration, and optimization. A lot of this infrastructure is GPU based and emerging technology based, right? So with our hypervisor, with our software-defined networking technologies flow, we're driving a lot of performance and efficiencies in the system. It's all about containers and VMs, and hyperscalers run containers and VMs. That's our philosophy as well, for efficiency, but also agility, so you get best of both worlds. Yeah. And ultimately, it's the consumption layer, so how do application developers can drive this adoption of agentic AI? And for that, it's governance is key, visibility and monitoring is key. So those are some of the higher level tools that'll help the CFO, and ultimately, number one goal is how do I reduce the cost of the token? And with our flexibility to run anywhere, we're seeing an increasing trend. I want to run sovereign, I run in my own data center, right? Where I can have a different cost model to tokens as well. So it's a full end-to-end sort of journey as well.
Actually, a couple of points I'll reinforce that Ketan said that are very important is governance is critically important as part of this. And that governance is going to be implemented at multiple layers there. And certainly, the cost of token, the time to first token, and the token throughput are all critically important as part of this.
Well, you guys are both senior executives. I want to talk about, my final question is looking ahead. You got the neutral platform running at the speed of hyperscale growth, and you got a lot of velocity. Where does the partnership go next? Because you're moving super fast. You got to get the neutral platform out there with all the accelerated benefits that you're enabling. Yeah. You got storage as a critical infrastructure piece of the puzzle, but then you got scale with distributed computing.
That's right.
What's next? Where does your partnership go?
Yeah, look, what's exciting is that this partnership is built on the foundation of a lighthouse customer, and that's the beautiful thing is you always want customer-driven ecosystem integrations. As part of this announcement, both Ketan and both of our teams have seen just phenomenal excitement and interest across the board. There's a number of areas where our solution will GA later this year, but it extends into business continuity, in hybrid cloud operations, as well as collaboration on the agentic AI layer that we were just talking about.
Great opportunity.
And I think we're well said, Sandeep. Security is an area we're going to deeply collaborate as well with cyber resilience. And customers will take us on that journey, right? Some of the Lighthouse customers are already asking for the next release and the next feature. And one of the things like Nutanix is ubiquitous in all hyperscalers, so is NetApp, right? So that will be an area of collaboration to expect. Cloud native is another area with what they're doing and what we're doing with NKP. So it's a journey and it's a long-term partnership. We're really super excited to work with them.
And you see AI native coming together with cloud native.
Yep, 100%.
Fully converging.
That's right. In fact, that's sort of how we are organizing our teams as well, AI and containers closer together. So that's definitely happening. So.
All right, Ketan, Sandeep, great conversation. John, thanks for the analysis. Thanks for stopping by theCUBE. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, pleasure being here.
And you're watching theCUBE. We've got more insights and analysis coming up right after the break. You're watching live coverage of Nutanix NEXT. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break and come right back.